These are things that I would do differently if I could relive my teenage years. The first thing I would do is to spend less time on the phone. I used to spend so much time on the phone when I was a teenager. I used to scroll like all day on TikTok. But what you have to realize is that when you're a teenager, this is the time where you have the least responsibilities, but at the same time, the most time. Therefore, you should use this period of time to fully focus on finding new hobbies, experimenting with your style, just trying to see who you are during this period. So spend less time on focusing on what to do on your phone. When you're watching other people on the phone, for example, TikTok, you're watching glamorized versions of people's lives and you compare yourself to them, which is absolutely not good. You're just gonna view yourself as a loser because you keep seeing these fake lives on the internet. Therefore, spend less time on the phone to get less fake impressions and spend more time on actually trying to figure yourself out. Read more self-improvement books, watch self-improvement videos, do everything you can just not to be on the phone. I would say to learn how to do a new hobby is good because maybe you find a hobby that will become your job in the future. This job could pay you very well if you become really good at your hobby. So instead of sitting at home watching other people on your phone, you should focus on actually trying to master different types of skills to become as smart as you possibly can. And the second thing I would do is to dress more nicely. I used to wake up literally 30 minutes before school and I used to just rush to the bus and I was putting my hair up in a messy bun, just throwing something on. I went to school super stressed because I woke up so late. So I would tell you to wake up earlier, take your time, make a cup of tea, watch something that you like. Nowadays, I listen to self-improvement podcasts just to start off the day with a positive vibe. And then take your time fixing your hair, take your time picking out your outfits, do it the night before if you don't want to wake up too early. Just kind of prepare yourself for the day in a much better manner. And also, your looks matter for yourself because if you feel like you're ugly, you're gonna avoid talking to people, you're gonna try to kind of avoid people because you feel ugly. But if you feel pretty, you're going to want to talk to people. You're going to want to be social because you genuinely feel pretty and you want to be seen. So take your time to take care of yourself in the morning. Take your time to feel the prettiest as you possibly can. And this also romanticizes your life because you're teaching yourself like, I'm going to oil my hair. I'm going to brush through my hair, make it pretty. You're acting as if you're a main character in a movie. And that's exactly what you should act like because you are the main character in your own life. So treat yourself the best you can, wake up early, make yourself pretty, do things you love in the morning so that you can get a great start of the day. Don't wake up late and rush to school like I did. The third thing I would do is definitely to start saving money earlier. When I graduated from high school, I didn't save that much money, so I didn't really have nothing to like start with. And I would definitely recommend you to actually be a little bit more careful with your money. Don't just spend it on clothes, or if you want to spend it on clothes, try secondhand or just thrift clothes instead of buying new ones. You can find just as pretty clothes, maybe even prettier, that nobody has while thrifting instead of actually going and buying an overpriced shirt in a random store. So I would definitely tell you to start saving money while you're still a teenager so that you have something to start with. Be more cautious of your money when you're a teenager. And also, this would teach you how to be responsible with money. It's not just about you having something to start with, a foundation when you quit high school. It's also going to be great because you're teaching yourself how to be responsible with money before you actually start to earn the big money. So be more cautious of your money and teach yourself how to save money, how to invest money. Just start with all of those things early. I would definitely also tell you to start investing when you're in your teenage years. So start like finding out facts about it and start getting as much information as you possibly can about money while you still don't make like the money that you will make when you're starting to work 9 to 5. Another thing that I feel like is very important is to learn beyond school. Learn beyond your classroom, learn beyond whatever you're learning in your lessons. Because in school, we don't always learn about, for example, mental health or self-improvement, self-growth. We learn about like nature, math, whatever, just not about like your brain. And I feel like that's the most important part of your life. Your health and your well-being is the thing that you should put as number one in your life, because without you feeling good and being stable and in your well-being, you could potentially lose your life. People lose their lives to suicide every single day because we were never taught in school how to deal with being depressed or feeling anxious or being stressed. We have never dealt with how to pick ourselves up when we're on our way down. And that's why I'm telling you, that's the most important thing you can do in your teenage years. Start reading self-improvement books. Listen to advice from people who do self-growth speeches, podcasts, everything. Just read as much as you possibly can about self-growth, self-improvement, how to control your emotions. Because if you don't know how to control your emotions, things could get very deep. And read a lot of mental health books because you will definitely need it, especially when you're going from a teenager to an adult, because I feel like that period in between is very difficult. It's a big change, and you will want to be as stable as you can in your mental health when you go through that, because some people genuinely fall into a depression when they start becoming an adult because they don't know how to handle their emotions. So invest in your mental health. Buy them books, go to a cafe, read them, drink something good with it. Just do everything you can to learn beyond your classroom. And the last thing for this video, I feel like, is definitely that you have to come to a realization that every single one of all the teenagers in your classroom, they're all insecure. We are all insecure when we're teenagers, even when we're adults, but especially when we're teenagers, because this is the time where you actually start to become aware of everything. This is the time where you see other people, compare yourself to other people. That's why it's so important to realize that everyone's insecure. Don't think that you're the only one. The most important thing for you to do when you're insecure is to know where you stand and be confident and build a foundation for yourself. One thing that you cannot be in your teenage years, because your teenage years are your most vulnerable years. You cannot be easily influenced by other people. And what I mean by that is a lot of people, when they get into their teenage years, they're so confused. They make the wrong decisions. They, for example, start smoking at a young age. You cannot be easily influenced by these people because you will end up like them. The people that you hang out with, they determine your future. So be careful of who you hang out with because you could eventually become like them. And if they're a bad influence, that could destroy your future. So build a foundation, be determined to stay the way that you want to stay. If you want to be a teenager that has good grades, that works out, that reads self-improvement books, then be just that, and don't let other people tear you down just because you want to be a better person. People will always criticize you when they see that you're making the right choices in life or when they see that you actually try to succeed. People fear other people succeeding because they're comparing themselves to you. And if you're doing better than them, it hurts their ego. Don't ever take it personally if someone questions your success or questions your choices, like working out or getting good grades. Let them think whatever you want. You just keep going your path and you'll turn out just fine. This was all of the tips I had for this video. I'll make a part 2. Subscribe if you want to see that. I'll see you in the next one.